My name is Dr. Christian Seberino. I work with RestonLogic. RestonLogic is a cloud, blockchain, and data engineering company. Today I'm going to be discussing centralized ledger technology and QLDB. So what is centralized ledger technology? Centralized ledger technology is a type of database that provides complete secured histories. So what I mean by that is not only is the current state of your information available, but also the entire history. The reason why that might be valuable is if there was security concerns, if there was concerns about potential tampering with data, unrequested, unapproved modifications to data. Now, traditional databases do not provide complete secured histories. In addition to centralized ledger technologies providing complete secured histories, decentralized ledger technologies also provide complete secured histories. Now, by decentralized ledger technologies, I'm referring to public and private blockchains. Not only does decentralized ledger technology provide complete secured histories, but it also provides additional features. Unfortunately, those nice additional features also come with additional costs. So let me first talk about the desired additional features that decentralized ledger technologies provide in addition to complete secured histories that centralized ledger technologies do not provide. So private blockchains require decentralized administration. So to make a change to a private blockchain database, a group of people have to somehow come to consensus. And so that provides additional security that minimizes trust requirements even further. Now, public blockchains completely eliminate trust requirements. They provide trustlessness, all right? So that public blockchains have the least trust requirements, if any at all. So here is a graph to give you a sense of how these different choices, database choices, compare. And I have here traditional databases, centralized ledger technologies, private blockchains, and public blockchains. And so the lower a specific type of database is on this graph, the less the trust requirements are, the more secure your data is, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, as you minimize trust requirements, you also incur a performance penalty. So traditional databases have the best performance, but they also have the greatest trust requirements. Public blockchains have the least, if any, trust requirements, but they also have the worst performance. And then private blockchains and centralized ledger technologies are in the middle, providing a different compromise between those two competing forces. Now, what is interesting is notice how much smaller the trust requirements are for centralized ledger technologies compared to traditional databases. So that strikes a pretty desirable compromise in many situations. You are significantly minimizing the trust requirements without much of a performance cost. So that might be a very desirable compromise in many situations. So what are the use cases for centralized ledger technologies? Essentially, it's where you want to almost have it all. So if you want to lessen trust requirements with minimal financial and performance costs, so you want to lessen trust requirements without really having a lot of negative impact. In that situation, centralized ledger technologies may be the way to go. However, let me emphasize that centralization must be acceptable. So there is still somewhat of a risk associated with this centralization. So whoever is managing the centralized ledger might not adhere to the desired protocols. They might mismanage the system, causing downtimes and lost data. However, if the centralized ledger is properly managed, then there might not be so much of a risk, and so you might be able to have a lot of the benefits with hardly any costs associated with your choice. Let me say a little bit about how centralized ledger technologies are able to significantly minimize trust requirements without incurring significant performance penalties. So they use a type of mathematical function called a cryptographic hash. And this is a very nice practical way to verify the integrity of data, to make sure that data has not been modified, has not been tampered with. And so a centralized ledger can distribute hashes, and so users can store those hashes and then use them to quickly verify that they have the complete correct history of a centralized ledger, and so they know all the changes for all time without any risk of undetected tampering and other malicious behavior. Now, it is effectively impossible to tamper with the histories of centralized ledgers without altering their cryptographic hashes. So cryptographic hashes are a very nice way to provide a lot of benefit without a lot of costs. And so they're used extensively not only by centralized ledger technology, but also by decentralized ledger technologies and many other tools. So I mentioned that centralized ledger technology provides a lot of benefits with a small risk associated with centralization. Now, I also said that if a centralized ledger is properly managed, then those risks are minimized. So the Quantum Ledger database is an offering by Amazon. It is a managed service. It's a centralized ledger service, and Amazon, of course, has a lot of experience providing managed services, cloud services, and so they might be a great choice for a centralized ledger application. So a little bit of details about QLDB. So QLDB is serverless, which is very nice. So QLDB removes the need to manage databases. Also, QLDB automatically scales as needed. So you're getting a significant lessening of trust requirements. You are not incurring much of a performance penalty. Now you have all the experience and talent of Amazon managing your centralized ledger for you. You can see how compelling this choice might be for many use cases. Furthermore, the accessing data in QLDB is they have a very nice interface for that. Data is accessed with an SQL-like interface referred to as particle. So, in summary, centralized ledger technologies are centralized databases that provide complete secured histories. They lessen trust requirements with minimal costs. They do not lessen trust requirements as much as decentralized ledger technologies, but neither do they incur their greater costs. So they make a different compromise. QLDB is a serverless centralized ledger option from Amazon with a familiar SQL-like interface. And once again, my name is Dr. Christian Seberino, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.